2026. Welcome to LCJ Live. It's Sunday, January 4th, 2026. Happy New Year. Ringing in the new year with the box office, interestingly, with the same 10 movies we had last weekend. So 2025 carries over into 2026 with the first weekend. None of the new movies, there were only a couple, but none of the new movies were able to get into the top 10. As of now, one came very close. We Buried the Dead with about 2.5 million-ish in 11th. That's the film. It was a horror movie, a thriller. Daisy Ridley, who I love from Young Woman in the Sea, of course from the Star Wars films as well. But We Buried the Dead couldn't get into the top 10, but the same 10 movies from last weekend. We will break down that box office here. Coming up, I've got Popcorn Guy, Regal Popcorn Guy here with me on LCJ Live as well, the Regal Popcorn Pop. LCJ, says Christian Kozlowski. Hello, Happy New Year. It's going to be a great year for movies, says Sam B. Russell. As I posted the other night on social media, Devil Wears Prada 2 is at the top of my most anticipated movies list. That's all. There are other movies, of course, I'm looking forward to, but that, of course, for May 1st. Looking forward to that. Avatar is still doing well, and Daisy Ridley did deserve an Oscar nomination for Young Woman in the Sea. If you have not seen that, it should still be on Disney+. It is very good. B. Hunter Woodruff, Happy New Year. Thanks for being here on LCJ Live. It's the first show of 2026. January 4th, 2026. Here we are. And you can't really see the pants that I'm wearing. Maybe if I bring the knees up a little. I've got blue on. I'm just looking here. Yeah, there he is. I got Bluey pants on. Got these as a holiday gift. Adults love Bluey too. And of course, the Bluey movie is in theaters in about a year and a half. In August 2027, it's going to do very well. Then the Simpsons movie sequels a few weeks later. So yes, I got Bluey pants in blue. We're kicking off the year. Devil Wears Prada 2 could do very well. No, not the Avatar theme. It is Bluey. It is all for Bluey. But hey, Avatar is number one. It added $40 million. It's at $306 million domestically. Here's the thing. Yes, we're at $1.1 billion worldwide. One of only 4 movies of 2025 to cross $1 billion globally. Neja 2, Zootopia 2, Lilo and Stitch, Avatar, Fire and Ash. They are the $1 billion plus movies of 2025. Of course, the latter 3 that I mentioned, Zootopia, Avatar, and Lilo and Stitch, are Disney releases. Everything else, other movies came close, including Minecraft, but couldn't quite get there. Interestingly, Minecraft's still the biggest movie of the year domestically, still in North America, with $423.95 million, just about. So Avatar, Fire and Ash still needs, what is that, $118 million to pass Minecraft and Lilo and Stitch, which were very close to each other domestically, to become the biggest movie of the year. If you remember 3 years ago, Way of Water was not the biggest movie of 2022. That honor belonged to Top Gun Maverick, but The Way of Water did gross $684 million domestically. We're only at 306. After the third weekend of The Way of Water 3 years ago, we were at 425.5. Whoa. You can blame it on a couple things. Number one, it's only been 3 years since the last one. But number two, the competition this year, when you look at the rest of this box office, so much more fierce than it was 3 years ago. You had Avatar, you had some families going to Puss in Boots, and you had no interest in many of the other films that were out 3 years ago around this time. This year, you have many other movies doing very well. I think they're steering people in away from Avatar to those other films, and less of an interest in Avatar. It's not a great film. A lot of comments coming in. Yeah, Bluey's going to do well. Yeah, Bluey for the billion. So Avatar, Fire and Ash, we're at 306. It's great that it's at 1.1 billion worldwide. Of course, the last one did 2.3 billion. So we're still 900 million away from maybe getting to $2 billion. It's still potentially in play because of the international factor. But as I wrote, I think last night, it's going to be an interesting next 2 to 4 weeks. Because, boy, if this Avatar doesn't get to $450-500 million domestically, that's a huge decrease from the 684 of last time. And if it's not, if it's third for the year, if it, because Minecraft did 423.95, Lilo did 423.78. If it's third for the year, now when you do the math on 20% of the opening weekend, which is what happened with Way of Water, 20% of the opening weekend was the total. When you do 20% of the opening weekend of Fire and Ash, which was 89 times 5, I think it's 445, something in that department. Do some quick math. 89 times 5. Yep, 445. So that's barely over the totals of Lilo and Stitch and Minecraft domestically. I don't know if we're going to get there. It depends. We dropped from 64 to 40 this weekend. I mean, $40 million weekend is not terrible, but the last Avatar in its third weekend did 67 and a half. So it's going to be very interesting. We're looking at probably $1.5 billion plus worldwide, which is still good. It's not compared to the others, but the others did over $2 billion. Those are really high numbers. But is it enough for James Cameron to want to do 2 more movies? Is it enough for Disney to want to greenlight 2 more Avatar movies? And if it does not become the biggest movie of the year domestically, even though it was second last time to Top Gun because Top Gun did exceptional numbers, if it's third for the year, whoa, that's a major shocker for sure, and a major surprise going to be to Disney. Yeah, wow. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, the other movies are doing so well, and I'm trying to stay positive, but also being realistic and being like, well, Avatar may not. It needs another $118 million. Can it do another $118 million? Maybe. It needs a $30 million weekend next weekend to have a shot. It needs another good week. But now kids are going back to school. People are going back to work. Today, ends the huge stretch from before Christmas to after New Year's. That huge stretch ends today. And then during the week, it's going to probably be pretty slow in comparison to what it's been the last 2 weeks. You get a little boost in a couple weekends for Martin Luther King Jr. weekend, and then February break is still a ways away. So Zootopia 2, huge weekend, another 19 million. It's at 363.7 to 4%. How incredible is that? Yeah, how incredible is that? Hang on. We're back. All right. We might have gone off for a second, maybe not. All right, we're back. Next up, in third, The Housemaid, which only dropped 3%. It's at 14.9 million for the weekend. It has totaled $75.7 million. This is one of the biggest Lionsgate movies in recent memory, not associated with Hunger Games or John Wick. It's really doing well. 75 million. It is the biggest movie of the year for Lionsgate, passing the Now You See Me movie. Yeah. 3% drop. People are going to this movie. People are discovering it, and that it's not bad. It is not terrible by any means. It's pretty good. It's long, and it's drawn out, and it does some things that aren't great, but a 3% drop is not terrible at all for The Housemaid in third. Also doing well, Marty Supreme dropped 29%. It's at $12.6 million. It's at $56 million total. It is the third biggest A24 film of all time. Congratulations to Marty Supreme. Is Timothée Chalamet going to win tonight at the Critics' Choice Awards next Sunday at the Golden Globes? We will see. $56 million for Marty Supreme. A Complete Unknown last year totaled 75. We're already at 56. I think Marty Supreme is going to make more than 75 million, but again, it needs another few good weekends. It needs Timothée Chalamet to get an Oscar nomination. He will, and it needs him to win. Tonight, next Sunday, for people to go, all right, I got to go see this movie. I think Timothée Chalamet will win tonight, but do not be surprised if somebody else wins. Maybe Ethan Hawke, maybe Joel Edgerton, maybe Wagner Moura. There could be somebody other than Chalamet up on that stage tonight. We will see. Number 5 is Anaconda, which I finally saw on Friday. Oh, I wanted to like it, but I could not. It was a little, there were a few funny lines early with the Hollywoody stuff, and then once we get to the jungle, it's pretty flat. It's pretty dumb, pretty silly, goofy. There's a couple scenes where I'm going, really? You tried way too hard here. Added 10 million, it's at 45.9. It is the third biggest film of the year for Sony Columbia. Number 6 is the SpongeBob movie, Search for SquarePants, which only dropped 26%. 8.2 million this weekend. It's at 57.6. It is the second biggest film of 2025 for Paramount. Passed The Naked Gun to do that. Still a ways away from the 85 million of the first one, the 163 million of the second one. But it did okay. It for this weekend with kids still out of school. Now it might struggle a little bit the rest of the way. May not get past 75 million total. Number 7 is David, which added 8 million. It's at 70.1 million. It is the second biggest Angel Studios film of all time. It passed King of Kings, and I don't know if it'll get to 100 million to be the second Angel over 100 after Sound of Freedom. But hey, animation with King of Kings and David doing really well this year, and Animal Farm coming out May 1st, same day as Devil Wears Prada 2. Angel Studios very happy with animation. Let's see. What do you think will be a surprise flop this year? Wow. Surprise flop. I'll answer with an opposite answer because this is what popped into my head. I saw a $20 million estimate for Wuthering Heights the other day. That is going to make so much more than $20 million in its opening weekend. Like, we're talking 50, 60 million, I think. I think everybody, it's going to be a date night movie. Everybody's going to want to go. So I want to state that. As far as a surprise flop, gosh. I'd have to look. Project Hail Mary will probably do well. I'd have to look at the whole list. Nothing's jumping out at me. What could be a surprise flop? I'd have to look at the summer schedule a little bit. There might be 1 or 2 things that jump out. Maybe we'll do that in a minute. All right, number 7 I said was David. Number 8 is the movie I forgot to mention its box office for last weekend, so I have to get it in now. Song Sung Blue, my number 2 movie of the year. I love this movie. Go see Song Sung Blue. It added 5.9 million this weekend. Only dropped 17%, not bad. And it's at $25 million. It is the second biggest focus features film of the year. Kate Hudson is a Golden Globe nominee next Sunday. Hugh Jackman should be nominated. Frankly, I'd love to see both of them get SAG Actors Awards nominations this week. I think those nominations are Wednesday. I would love to see that happen because they're so good in this movie. Ella Anderson, also really good. In some years, she could be a supporting actress contender. Seriously, she's that good in this movie. So go see Song Sung Blue, and I hope we get some nominations this Wednesday at the Actor Awards, which I'll vote for after the nominations come out. Number 9 is Wicked for Good. It added 3.3 million. It is at almost 340 million. It did pass Jurassic World Rebirth to become the biggest Universal film of the year. I initially did not think it was going to happen, but the holidays helped it for sure. So Universal can say, all right, both Wicked movies were the top films of the year for us, though this one considerably less, 133 million less than the first one. And rounding out your top 10 is Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which added 2.7 million. It's at 125.2, the 4th biggest Universal film of the year, and very close to that 137 million of the last one. So they got to be very happy at Blumhouse. Only a $12 million difference. That is really good. All right. Let's see. Wuthering Heights. Let's see. Gosling, I think Project Hail Mary is going to do well. And Wuthering Heights is going to do well. Let's see. If you're having connecting issues, refresh, because I had to refresh as well. So if you're having issues, refresh. Let's see. Hugh Jackman's best film is Prisoners, says Pete Crooks. I liked Prisoners. I wanted to love Prisoners. I couldn't quite get there with it, but I thought that Prisoners was all right. Jake Gyllenhaal could have been in that supporting actor conversation. Hugh Jackman was good. His best performance is Hugh Jackman to me. The 1, 2, 3, the trifecta. Les Miserables, Bad Education, Song Sung Blue. They are his best performances for sure. As I mentioned off the top, We Bury the Dead outside the top 10. And Hamnet, only a 2% drop for Hamnet. Jessie Buckley could be a Best Actress winner tonight at Critics' Choice. 11.8 million total for Hamnet right now. As I mentioned, Critics' Choice tonight, Golden Globes next Sunday. The Annie Awards nominations are tomorrow. I've got Q&As with the directors, filmmakers, producers of this year's Oscar-nominated animated short films. Some are there now at animationscoop.com. More to come, including tomorrow at animationscoop.com. And the LCJ Q&A podcast returns for 2026, starting Tuesday with a new episode, and I think another new episode coming Thursday. Did these interviews about a month ago. In the can, as they say, and I can't even mention what one of them is, but you'll find out what they both are later this week for some cool animation things. This week in theaters, the 40th anniversary of Labyrinth, film called I Was a Stranger. Primate, horror movie, Paramount. Dead Man's Wire, one of the 10 best films of the year, gets its official limited release. I love this film. Gus Van Sant directed it. It is an enthralling dramatic thriller about a hostage situation in the 70s. You know who's got an excellent scene in the middle of the movie? Al Pacino. He's still got it. He's really good. You'll know it when you see it, and you'll be like, "Whoa, LCJ was right. This is one of the best scenes of the year." So, Dead Man's Wire, go see that. And Greenland 2 Migration. And I look forward to this because I like the first Greenland. Gerard Butler has been one of the best things for Lionsgate in the last few years because in January he had Blaine come out, he had Den of Thieves 2 come out. They both did well over 30 million. And now here comes Greenland 2, which was a VOD release, the first one in 2020. I thought it was pretty good. And now Lionsgate putting this out in theaters for January. And we could see another movie doing $30 plus million. So don't count out Greenland 2 as far as box office for this coming weekend. Something new, something different than all these holiday movies. Gerard Butler fans. I think this is going to do over 10 million this weekend. I really do. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to Greenland 2 Migration. Some comments about Hamnet. Yeah, I liked Hamnet, didn't love Hamnet. I thought Jessie Buckley was very good. The last act didn't do a lot for me. Not as powerful as they think it is. And I thought Paul Mescal was only okay. But there is a couple pivotal scenes with the children that are really strong. It envelops you. It is emotional. It's a tough movie. And Jessie Buckley is the reason to see this movie. If you have never seen Wild Rose, find Wild Rose. Incredible movie. The best movie of 2019. And Jessie Buckley's breakthrough performance that was really, really good. I have not seen The Writer. I've heard good things. Should I check out Eternals? No. Eternals is not good. So there we go. Don't have the money, I don't think, on The Dutchman, and Testament of Anne Lee will expand later this month. Also, by the way, this Friday, I believe, is This Thing On expands nationwide. That's Bradley Cooper's new film with Will Arnett, Laura Dern, that I did not love. The stand-up comedy aspect is good, and Will Arnett has some good moments within the stand-up comedy aspect, but the second half is terrible. I saw this back in the middle of October at a film festival, and I just do not think it worked out well. But Is This Thing On? Could make a little money this weekend if people have been looking forward to it. Date night movie, could be. Is This Thing On this weekend? I would say Avatar will be number one again. It's got to do a $30 million weekend to have a shot at being the biggest film of the year of 2025. And then you're looking at 10 million, I think, for Greenland 2. If it does only 5, that's going to be a disappointment. Is This Thing On? Could do 4 or 5 million. It depends on how wide the theatrical expansion is for this coming weekend. And then Primate. You know, it depends. The buzz has been growing on Primate, and if more people are seeing it and the buzz grows, that could be an interesting $10, $12 million play. So Avatar should still be number one, but hey, maybe Greenland and Primate exceed expectations. I've seen No Other Choice, was not a fan of No Other Choice. Way too goofy, ridiculous for me. Bone Temple is out in a couple weeks. Although Mike Sargent, my colleague at Too Fast, Two Films, he saw the 28 years later the Bone Temple already. He liked it very much. He liked the last one too. He was very impressed with this, with the Bone Temple. Do you prefer Regal over AMC? I've been to more Regals than AMC theaters. I will say that. But you know, that's why I have this pop here. As far as movies that could not do so well, I'm going to the summertime. Depends on how good the Spielberg movie is. They're marketing him heavily. Supergirl, it depends on the reviews. I mean, that's really going to be a reviews movie. The Moana live action movie, it depends on if people are sick of these live action remakes from Disney or not. Rest of the year, you know, August is tough. I'm looking ahead. It seems like there's another Resident Evil coming. You know, horror movies. It depends on horror movies too. How hot are horror films going to be? That Tom Cruise movie with Alejandro Iñárritu. Either people are going to love it and lots of people are going to go, or if the buzz is not great and people just aren't into it, that could be a wild card. And especially with the Warner Brothers situation. Warner Brothers moving Cat in the Hat to November was an interesting decision. It could have been February. They moved it to November. I think Hunger Games will do okay, along with the new Meet the Fockers film, Focker-in-Law. Disney's got a film called Hexed for Thanksgiving. It's an original title. Original titles haven't always worked the last few years for Disney. Jumanji 3, I think will do fine. Angry Birds 3, Avengers Doomsday. So I don't know. It's tough to say what's going to be a flop. Send Help could do okay, depending on the reviews and the buzz for it. I'm looking at the rest of it. Scream, if people are sick of Scream, then that's not going to do well. Or it'll have like a big first weekend and then it will drop. That could be the case for Scream 7. I could see big open like 50 million down to 14 the next weekend. I could really see that. For Scream 7, that could be that case. The Bride, I think, will do all right. Same with Project Hail Mary. I know I'm probably missing stuff. Mario, of course, will be huge. I'm just looking at April. That's the last month I'm scrolling through. The Michael Jackson film will be very interesting, too. I don't think it's going to flop. I think Lionsgate has high expectations for it. I don't think it's going to flop. But again, that'll depend on the early buzz and the reviews and whether people want to spend the money and the time. You know, that's the other thing I think, and we'll close this out with, for today's LCJ Live, I think one of the reasons you're seeing this great box office over these last couple weekends, including Avatar, even though it's not doing as well as the last one, is because people had this 3 full weekends, 2 full weeks, long stretch of being out of work, off of school, and they went to the movies, and maybe they hadn't gone to the movies since the summertime. Really. This was a case of, hey, I go to the movies once a year. I know people who only go to the movies on Thanksgiving, or who only watch 1 or 2 movies the entire year, or only go in this Christmas stretch, or only go once or twice in the summertime. Family, friends, colleagues. I know many people who only go to the movies a few times a year, and have for a long time, especially since COVID. They chose a movie during this stretch, and a lot of people may have done this, where they simply said, this is the 1 or 2 times a year when I can devote my hard-earned money and all the time in the world with the previews, the commercials, getting to the theater, and these long movies like 2.5-hour Marty Supreme, 2-hour 15-minute Song Sung Blue, 3-hour 15-minute Avatar Fire and Ash, 2-hour 15-minute Housemaid, other movies are sure, 2.5-hour Wicked for Good, you know, these long movies, or these animated films, especially for families. This was a very interesting year for animated films. I know some families who only went once or twice the whole year. This year coming up for animation, you've got Hoppers, you've got Cat in the Hat later in the year, Goat, Toy Story 5, Minions 3, Paw Patrol 3, Dreamers Forgotten Island, Disney's Hexed. I'm probably forgetting 1 or 2. Mario, of course. I think it's going to be a bigger year for animation than it was in 2025. The end of the year helped with Zootopia, David, and SpongeBob, but up until that point, it was not a great year for fully animated films at the North American box office. So I think 2026 is going to be bigger for them for sure. And I'm not predicting too many flops, but I am predicting Wuthering Heights is going to do pretty well. So there you go. Maybe it's Scream 7. We'll see. But yes, if you go to the movies once or twice a year, you went over these last few weeks, and then you'll go again maybe once or twice in the summertime, unless you're a diehard devoted movie fan. All right, speaking of diehard devoted movie fans, if you are, you're watching the Critics' Choice Awards tonight at 7 o'clock. The Golden Globes is next Sunday at 8. The Annie Awards nominations are tomorrow. The SAG Awards, Actor Awards nominations are Wednesday. And go to toofast2films.com. Mike Sargent and I name our best and worst films of 2025. We also review Marty Supreme. And if you want more, go to lights-camera-jackson.com, Instagram at lightscamjackson, youtube.com/lightscamerajackson. You're here. Subscribe to the channel. Facebook, Lights Camera Jackson. X at LCJ Reviews, I think I already said. What am I missing? LCJ.podbean.com. The LCJ Q&A podcast returns Tuesday and Thursday of this week, I believe. And yeah, that's LCJ Live. It's the first show of 2026. Happy New Year. Have a good week. Stay well, stay positive, support your movie theaters. And we'll see you next Sunday when we're going to talk about this Greenland 2 box office, Primate box office. We will preview a few films I've already seen that open for the 16th, along with 28 Years Later. And we'll get into award season, maybe some Golden Globes predictions as well. Thanks for being here for LCJ Live. Take care. Bye-bye.